Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 154. You can't heal in the same place where you were broken. So there comes a moment in the healing when you realize that you can't keep bleeding in the same place where you're trying to recover. You can't heal in the same environment that broke you. You can forgive that place because you survived there. You're still here. That's proof that you survived. But you can't fully heal there. Healing sometimes requires different energy, different environment, and different patterns. But don't pack your bags yet, because I want to reframe this a little bit for you. Sometimes this place I'm talking about isn't a physical space. It could be a relationship, a family system. It might be a workplace or a community. It could be the same role you're playing in a relationship that you no longer identify with. It could be a church or a belief system, or even the internal narrative that you've been telling yourself, or reinforcing old versions of yourself through your lifestyle and habits and unhealthy patterns. So you can't rebuild your nervous system safely while staying inside the same dynamic that created the injury or held you in trauma. So here's a little psychological framework for you. In the book, The Body Keeps the Score, the author, Bessel van der Kolk, explains how trauma is stored in the body. If the body remains in an environment it perceives as unsafe, it cannot regulate. Personal experience tells me that unhealed traumas outside of the initial experience had contributed to feelings of feeling unsafe and my victim mentality until I got onto the path and then worked through those traumas. But for the healing to take place, it requires a sense of safety, a space where you feel safe, where your nervous system can begin to regulate. And it also involves creating new experiences. So if the wound that hurt you was created in chaos, then you need to create calm. If what hurt you was created through control, then you need to establish autonomy. And if it was created by dismissal, then you need to be heard, stand up for yourself, stand in your truth, and speak your truth. Speaking of truth, here's the hard truth. Sometimes, as I said, healing requires leaving family systems and outgrown friendships. It involves redefining our identity, and that hurts. But the place that broke you is often also, it's familiar. It's comfortable. It's attached to love and attached to memories and history with others. And that's why it's so hard to walk away, even when we're standing right in the space that created the pain. But all these things, being familiar and comfortable and having history with memories, of course, you can still love others in your life, but this sense of familiarity doesn't guarantee safety. And we stay because it is familiar. We want validation from the people who hurt us. We want them to finally understand us. We hope that it will be different this time. And we confuse loyalty with self-abandonment. But healing isn't about proving anything. It's about protecting your peace. So here's some examples of leaving a place that hurts you. And it can be physical, emotional, spiritual. Here's what I'm talking about. First, with this physical leaving. Sometimes healing literally requires changing your environment. Here's some ways that you can do that. Create distance from harmful people or toxic relationships. Spend less time in environments that are tied to trauma, certain locations like home or workplace or even social circles. Create a new healing space, even a small corner in your home for meditation, journaling, or prayer, a space that is just for you. And as I point out every episode, spend time in nature. This helps to regulate our nervous system and reconnects us with something larger and greater than our pain. You don't always have to abandon everything, but you may need to step away long enough to breathe again and create some space for healing to occur for you. So that all has to do with physically leaving what has caused you pain. Number 2 is mentally leaving what has caused you pain. Because even after you physically leave, your mind can still live in the past. So here's ways to mentally disengage. Interrupt rumination by asking, is this thought helping me heal? Practice mindfulness and grounding exercises. Limit conversations that constantly revisit the same wound over and over again. Reframe the story, and in your self-talk, move away from why did this happen to me and start to ask, what did this teach me? So the message here is, when you're mentally leaving something that's caused you pain, that healing begins when the mind stops rehashing the injury. Okay, number 3, emotionally leaving a situation. Emotionally, that's caused you pain. So emotionally leaving is about detaching from the emotional grip that the wound, the pain, has on you. And here's some ways to do this. Allow the grief and anger to move through you instead of trying to suppress them. Let go of expectations that others will apologize or eventually understand you. Release the role that you were forced into, whether it be scapegoat, the fixer, the peacemaker. And learn and enforce what your boundaries are, and then protect those. Protect your emotional energy by standing by your boundaries. The message here is you can love people and still refuse to bleed for them. That's a deep statement. And number 4, another aspect of leaving something that's caused you pain would be having to do with spiritually leaving something. Sometimes the deepest level and deepest leaving has to happen on an energetic and spiritual level. So here's some ways to do this. Reclaiming your identity beyond the wound. Not, why did this happen to me, but what did this teach me? Letting go of beliefs that say you deserved the harm. Prayer, meditation, sound healing, or any rituals that symbolize release. So it could even be writing a letter and then burning that letter. Connect with your purpose. Look deep into the pain and see it as a part of your awakening, not your identity. It didn't happen to you. It happened for you and for your growth. The message here is your spirit was never meant to stay trapped in the place where it was wounded. So here's some reflection prompts for you. I'm not going to cut that out. For you to consider, having to do with leaving the pain and not healing in the same place. I got distracted. Here we go. First prompt is, where are you trying to heal while still tolerating harm? The next question is, what environment keeps reactivating your old identity? The third question and prompt for reflection is, what door have you outgrown but haven't closed? And the last question is, what would safety feel like in your body? In close, I'd like to say that sometimes healing means walking away from the battlefield, not because you're weak, but because your soul was never meant to build a home in a war zone. When you cross the threshold and leave what hurt you, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, your healing is there living on the other side. You don't owe loyalty to what damaged you. So give yourself permission to finally become who you were meant to be. And that's our episode for today. You can't heal in the same place where you were hurt. Have a great day. That's it for now. I hope you've been doing well. I, again, as always, wish you peace, love, and light. Stay well, everybody. Be safe out there. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.